Hey everybody, how's it going? For today's video, let's take an up-close and personal, in-depth look at the all-new 2015 BMW M3. We'll be focusing on the blue M3 for the majority of the video and test drive, but I'll also be thoroughly covering the M4 in the process, highlighting the key differences in the newly optional carbon ceramic braking system. After seeing both cars, which body do you prefer? Feel free to leave your choice in the comments below. And this is going to be a detailed, in-depth review of the M3. We'll start it up, show the engine, get an exhaust clip and go over the performance data, as well as show you a bunch of the unique aspects of both the interior as well as exterior. And before we begin, I'd like to extend a big thanks and special shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake, located at the Hendrick Luxury Auto Mall in Charlotte, North Carolina, for providing the vehicles featured in today's in-depth review. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and start her up, let her run. Now, like the rest of the modern BMW lineup, the M3 also features a standard remote smart key access system. Utilizing the touch sensors on the driver and passenger side door handle, you're able to lock and unlock the vehicle. Just tap the little red portion to lock. One beep indicates locking, then after waiting a second, just grab the handle. The other touch sensor is located behind, and it automatically unlocks the vehicle with 2 beeps. The exterior color is known as Yaz Marina Blue Metallic, paired nicely with the extended black premium Merino leather interior. And along with that smart key access system, the M3 also features a standard remote push-button ignition. All you have to do is just put your foot on the brake and hit the dash-mounted button to go. Simple as that. The M3's dual-mode exhaust is controlled through the various throttle modes, Efficiency, Sport, and Sport Plus. While in Efficiency, the dual butterfly valves open at a certain RPM while opening fully in the Sport variants. Like the other latest M products, it also uses electronic sound enhancement. You would never notice this neat feature otherwise, but it seamlessly takes the sound from the intake into other key areas, then amplifies it and routes it through the vehicle's speakers, creating a sensuous V8-like sound inside that's just such a joy to listen to. So now let's take a quick sound comparison between when the butterfly valves are closed and then fully open. I'll go a little bit more in depth later in the video as far as variations of revs and road acceleration. With your heads-up display, you can also bring up a digital tachometer. For 2015, a new electrically assisted variable ratio rack and pinion steering setup was added, which shaves 8 pounds and improves energy efficiency over the previous hydraulic setup. Designed to eliminate characteristic filtering effects and vagueness with a low inertia motor and tighter tolerances. In other words, it doesn't autocorrect for imperfections, keeping the driver more in control of the wheel's behavior. The steering is smooth and precise with just 2.8 turns to lock. There's not a whole lot of feedback that transfers through the column, but I thought it did a pretty good job feeling refined and comfortable, not to mention responsive. Like all M products, the M3 and M4 feature an M-specific, thick-rimmed 3-spoke steering wheel wrapped in soft, supple leather and meaty grip bolsters up top with classic M tricolor stitching. It's quite a comfortable wheel to hold with plenty of soft texture. The spokes are highlighted by satin silver with your simple, multifunction controls on the upper 2 spokes. Both the M3 and M4 will be available with 2 optional transmissions. Standard equipment consists of a ZF-built 6-speed manual that's capable of producing rev-matching downshifts except in Sport Plus mode. Derived from the 1 Series M Coupe, the 6-speed manual is beefed up for the higher torque application, with carbon-lined synchro rings to reduce shift effort. The other, as seen here, is an updated 7-speed dual-clutch automatic featuring launch control and manual shifting via the gear selector below or selection via the steering wheel mounted paddle shifters. Both gearboxes are lighter and more compact than before, aiding to a 4-pound decrease in the dual-clutch transmission and 26-pound decrease for the manual. A standard electronic locking differential is borrowed from the M5, while the robust rear-mounted transaxle is also shared with the M5 and M6. A new system called Stability Clutch Control, only found on dual-clutch cars, automatically opens up the clutch when the car is under steering, redistributing the weight to help bring the car back in line. Shifts are quick with 0 interruptions in power, a benefit of the dual-clutch unit. It can be made quicker or more relaxed with a 3-mode selector behind the gear knob. Leaving the lever in Sport Automatic holds the gears longer for more lively, responsive acceleration on demand. Downshifts are also accompanied by a pronounced throttle blip. To put the vehicle in neutral, just tap the selector to the left, and for reverse, put your foot on the brake, tip it to the left and up. And once you put the vehicle in reverse, your backup camera automatically appears in your high-res widescreen display with adjustable guidance lines as well as obstacle marking. A stereoscopic camera system is available for the M3, which allows you to see a lot more of your immediate surroundings. Of course, you can change the brightness, contrast, and turning out the various lines. Your parking sensors will show off to the far right unless you turn the camera off. And so, we're going to flip on the optional automatic adaptive LED headlamps, as well as the hazards. Of course, all 4 windows are fully automatic. And we're going to check out the exterior. The first thing you notice is the interior will chime a few times, letting you know it's lost detection of the proximity key fob. Since 1986, the BMW M3 has been providing drivers with an engaging, uncompromised driving experience that few others have been able to match. After the E30 launched, only offered in coupe form, the succeeding E36 expanded the lineup to encompass a coupe, convertible, and sedan in 1997. Those familiar with the M3's nearly 3 decades of legendary performance will instantly recognize it as the benchmark of its class, even to this day. With a bulging hood, widened fenders, quad exhausts, and an aggressive hunkered-down profile, those not familiar with its famed history can still instantly recognize it as something special. For 2015, the F80 M3 sedan is all new, as is the F82 M4 Coupe, which takes the place of the aforementioned M3 Coupe. The M4 convertible is also due later this year. While naming has shuffled around a bit, the cars still remain very similar to each other in performance, design, and overall execution. Up front, M cars receive a unique fascia that's designed for airflow that benefits aerodynamics and component cooling. Adaptive LED headlamps are optional. With gaping intakes, chiseled flares, and swooping curves, it blends well with the rest of the car's angry profile while reducing lift on the front axle. The fenders are wider than the standard car to help make room for the wider wheel and tire packages. Out back is really where the car's biggest differences become apparent, with each car receiving its own rear treatment. The M4 has a sleeker, sloped-back roofline with character lines that taper into a carbon fiber trunk lid with blended, swept-up spoiler. The M3 has a more formal roofline, unless fitted with the exposed carbon fiber, as well as a simple lip spoiler. Each car's respective tail lamps are different, while the lower clip echoes the aero design of the front, finished with signature quad polished exhaust tips. The side profile is a bit more defined for the M4, but the M3 shares similar lines that flow from the fender vents to the rear quarters. All cars share the new aero design two-piece mirrors as well as the dark shadowline exterior trim. It's said that the new vehicles weigh about 200 pounds less than the previous generation, with weight differing between the M3 and M4 as little as 10 pounds. One advantage in its weight saving was more extensive use of carbon fiber reinforced plastics. The largest sections were used for the roof, while it also made its way into the engine compartment to brace the strut towers, which are then connected to the A-pillars with aluminum braces, and the single-piece hollow drive shaft, itself saving a measurable amount of rotational mass, 11 pounds in total. The M4 uses more carbon fiber in its trunk area, namely the deck lid, which features an integrated upswept spoiler that increases downforce and reduces lift on the rear axle. The M3 itself doesn't need a larger spoiler, integrated or not, because the longer body is actually a little bit more aerodynamic than the coupe. For the first time, the sedan is also fitted with a carbon fiber roof. Like the coupe, it too can be finished in exposed carbon fiber, otherwise it's simply painted. Weight saving with the roof alone is 11 pounds for the M3, while 13 pounds for the M4, and it also lowers the car's center of gravity. Aluminum also makes its way throughout, such as the front fenders, doors, and the dominating power dome hood. Aluminum is also used to a greater extent throughout, such as the front fenders, the doors, and the dominating power dome hood. The chassis and suspension also make great use of aluminum. Underneath, the front subframe, suspension knuckles, control arms, and large anti-roll bars are forged aluminum, shaving an additional 11 pounds when compared to the previous design. Like the larger M5, the rear subframe is directly bolted to the body, without bushings. All in all, torsional stiffness is measured about 40,000 Newton-meters per degree of twist, which is quite impressive. Like the rest of BMW's latest M products, there's a whole host of driver programmable settings to adjust the steering, dampers, throttle, and transmission, all routed through 3 modes. Adaptive dampers are actually an optional feature. For throttle response, it ranges from efficiency to Sport and Sport Plus, with increase in sensitivity and response respectively. Suspension and steering range from Comfort, Sport, and Sport Plus, with increasing damper firmness and steering weight respectively. Finally, the dual-clutch gearbox has its own 3 modes to control the speed of the gear changes, with decreasing shift times and increasing shift force with each mode for faster, more consistent acceleration. All of these different modes are actually fed through 2 programmable memory buttons on the steering wheel, dubbed M1 and M2. Therefore, if 2 people drive the car, each of their personal driving settings will be saved and easily accessed by just pressing one of the buttons next time they drive it. There's even a sub-mode for the dynamic stability control system, which typically modulates between under and oversteer, called M Dynamic Mode. It allows for a bit more wheel slip for more drifting. With relaxed stability, it will only intervene at the car's limit. You can even turn stability 100% off if you wanted to be fully in control. Both cars receive 18-inch alloys as standard, while these upgraded 19-inch twin 5-spoke units look amazing with their dark contrast. Wrapped in sticky Michelin Pilot Super Sport tires, 255/35s up front and 275/30s in the rear. With the M's suspension tuning, it's able to hold upwards of 1G in lateral cornering grip. The standard braking system consists of 4-wheel internally ventilated and cross-drilled discs, measuring 15 inches in front with 4-piston calipers and 14.6 inches in the rear with 2-piston calipers. Now, for the first time, BMW also offers a carbon ceramic braking system for the M3 and M4 that have superior durability with a reduced fade due to heat and wear, but do come at a premium of $8,150. They also stop harder, ideal for when the car is repeatedly pushed hard on a track. The rotors are bigger 15.7-inch cross-drilled discs up front with larger 6-piston calipers, while the rear discs measure 15 inches and are clamped down by 4-piston calipers. The carbon ceramics are also only available if you have the 19-inch wheels, as they're too big for the smaller 18-inchers. The calipers on the standard cars are finished in M Signature Blue, while the carbon ceramics have a metallic gold finish. Average stopping distances from 60 miles an hour are achieved in about 100 feet, being a little under for the carbon ceramics and a little over for the standard iron discs. As far as the suspension, it is fully independent with McPherson struts in front and a multi-link design out back, with beefed up front and rear stabilizer bars. Overall length is 184.5 inches with a width of 73.9 inches and a height of 56.1 inches, running on a 110.7 inch wheelbase. Depending on how equipped, curb weight is around 3,595 pounds. Compared to the last generation M3 sedan, the new car is 4.1 inches longer and 2.4 inches wider with a 2-inch longer wheelbase. Height drops by 0.9 inches, while curb weight, like I said, decreases by about 150 to 200 pounds depending on how equipped, thus making the interior dimensions, especially backseat room, a little bit improved over last generation. In the past, opening the hood was a two-step process, but now BMW has relocated the entire process to the interior release lever. Pulling once pops it, while pulling once more releases the front catch. Then when you walk to the front, all you have to do is lift. There's no fishing for the secondary latch. Powering the 2015 M3 and M4 is a new twin-turbo, all-aluminum 3-liter inline 6-cylinder that's internally known as the S55. That, with the help of 18 psi of forced induction, produces an impressive 425 horsepower, beginning at 5,500 RPM, and 406 pound-feet of torque as low as 1,850 RPM. Top speed is limited to 155 miles an hour unless you opt for the driver's package, which then raises it up to 174 miles an hour. Compared to the last generation with its naturally aspirated 4-liter V8, the new Turbo 6 benefits from an additional 11 horsepower and 111 pound-feet of torque. That's a 38% increase in torque over the previous mill. The last car also made its peak power as high as 8,300 RPM. While not quite as high, the new turbo mill still revs to an impressive peak of 7,600 RPM. 0 to 60 times are achieved in as little as 3.9 seconds, while quarter mile flashes by in 12.1 seconds at 117.8 miles an hour. Unlike the single-turbo S55 3-liter straight 6 of the 335i, M cars feature revised and strengthened internal components, including a larger bore and stroke. They also had a lightened, forged crankshaft, hollow connecting rods, and a sleeveless engine block with low-friction nickel-based coating that lines the cylinder walls, in addition to a lightweight magnesium oil pan and a dry sump lubrication system. The engine design consists of double overhead camshafts, 4 valves per cylinder, a 10.2 to 1 compression ratio, Valvetronic variable valve timing, and direct injection. As far as fuel economy, with a 15.8 gallon tank and running on required premium fuel, expect miles per gallon ratings to range between 17 city and 26 on the highway. You'd be hard pressed to find anything cheap from BMW's M division. Representing the lowest priced model in the M fleet, the M3 sedan still represents the best build quality in its class, with a level of refinement and thoughtful design that's hard to match. Ergonomics are excellent and are easy to understand. With more complicated infotainment systems and center stack designs, like what's seen in the Cadillac ATS, itself a really nice car, the BMW still retains a more simple layout without over-implementation of technology. All of your power accessories are located on the door, whereas your power locks are located on the dash. And of course, there's a whole array of modern safety features that are optional for the M3 and M4. The uprated sport leather bucket seating is unique to the M products and feature 10-way power adjustment, 4-way power lumbar, power adjustable side bolsters, and even backlit M logos on the backrest. 2-person memory allows for personal settings to be saved for 2 individual drivers, whereas all of your power adjustments are located on the seat edge. Attention to detail really is quite good, with double-stitched color contrast accenting as well as perforated trim come across the middle of the seat. While on the firmer side, I thought the seats were quite supportive and comfortable with appropriate padding in all of the right places. A race year-inspired top portion features a fixed headrest, and of course side curtain airbags all the way around. Down below, unique aluminum door sill entry guards with the M3 logo, all-weather protection in the floor as well as an aluminum dead pedal. The steering wheel is manual tilt telescoping, and this particular one features a heated steering wheel. Down below, to the left, you can also opt for the driver assistance package, which has like lane departure warning, blind spot monitoring, and more, but if you don't opt for it, instead there's a little padded storage compartment to the left-hand side of the steering column. Of course, the entire dash is padded, and this particular one acts in an aluminum and black piano veneer. Carbon fiber trim is also available, as is an optional sunroof. If equipped, the extended leather pack wraps the entire dash in soft, supple leather with the color accent double stitching. It also wraps areas of the center console and even the tops of the door panels. So let's go ahead and see how she sounds. Now with the exhaust fully open, what a fantastic sound. So we're going to shut her up. Of course, nice solid panels. This M3 features the optional Harman Kardon surround sound audio system pushing 600 watts through 16 speakers, while media and entertainment is provided by the latest generation BMW iDrive hard drive based infotainment system, with total storage of 200 gigabytes, 20 of which can be used for music storage. Cloth-wrapped A-pillars with side curtain airbags, hands-free and Bluetooth microphone located on either side so everybody can be heard equally, as well as grip handles up top. Cloth-wrapped visors with a little card holder, and a standard auto-dimming rearview mirror with compass and 3-position garage home link located right down beneath. In the top stack, you have your SOS emergency roadside assistance, interior illumination, as well as LED reading lamps, and controls for your fully automatic sunroof. The little window deflector automatically pops up as well. Taking a closer look at the dash, plenty of curves and swoops, and the screen sits nicely in between. You have the black piano veneer tracing the bottom portion, as well as brushed aluminum trim located up top. It also carries onto the left-hand side of the speedometer cluster. Continuing down, you have your lock and unlock located right beneath your hazard switch, in-dash CD player with all of your preset stations, and basic radio controls, tune, seek, change of the different modes, etc. Right beneath that is your standard dual-zone electronic automatic climate control system, going through an air filtration system. 3-stage heated seats for both sides, automatic recycling, changing the different zones, which is also independent for either side, and your fan speed located in the middle. One-touch automatic is located to the left. Down below you have a small storage tray with a 12-volt power outlet, 2 cup holders, padded trim with the stitched accenting, different driving modes like I talked about earlier, the iDrive controller amongst an aluminum housing, as well as the soft padded leather center console, with your iPod and media storage, and a spot for an integrated telephone. Now BMW's latest iDrive system is really quite simple to use, and it's become one of the more simpler systems on the market to figure out in my opinion. It's definitely made a lot of improvements over the years. With that widescreen high-res display, it's also easy to see. Down below, like I said earlier, it's all fed through the remote controller located in the center console. You basically click up, down, left and right, scrolling back and forth, and push down to select an option. Your main shortcut keys are up top here: media, radio, menu, telephone, and navigation, options, and a back button. Essentially, using the rotating feature to scroll between the different options, concierge services, all of your media options, including HD radio, satellite radio, and more. Hands-free Bluetooth telephone, navigation, with real-time traffic updates, and you can also split the screen with different functions. You can do it with radio and more. Now, probably one of the coolest things about the new remote controller is the fact that there's a touch input sensor located up top here. So functions like entering your navigation, destination, and more, you can actually write commands as such. And you can also voice input with the voice activation system.
A, B, N.
So it's pretty easy to do, especially when you're driving down the road. I have covered this navigation system a lot more in depth than a bunch of previous BMW videos, so I'll put a link in the description box below, and if you click the annotation at the bottom of the video, it'll take you to it if you want to see a little bit more about how the latest iDrive system works. As far as the steering wheel, on the left-hand side is your cruise control, which you would then hit this little button right here to activate, as well as your M1, M2 programmable driving modes. So just like the memory seats, you can actually custom tailor the vehicle's sports settings to two individual drivers. Simply pressing a button twice to confirm, and it'll automatically bring up that driver's presets. The right-hand side houses all of your radio controls, hands-free telephone, and voice commands. Help.
To obtain the voice commands of the displayed panel, say Voice Commands. To obtain general information on voice activation, say Help with voice activation.
Your heads-up display is located right beneath the speedometer cluster and beams up onto the windshield. Right now, it just shows your digital speed readout, and using the radio controls in the steering wheel, you're able to go between your different media modes and select songs, just pushing down on the wheel to select an appropriate option. There's even a standard auto start-stop feature. Each cluster is pretty typical BMW with a combination of analog and digital readouts. You have your driver information system located down below. Off to the right shows what gear you're in, as well as the efficient dynamics, using a little bit of energy regeneration to help power some of the vehicle's electronics. A beautifully executed vehicle overall. Alrighty. We're gonna shut her down. And we'll check out the back seat. The nice thing about the back seat of the M3 is the fact that the seats are similarly tailored to what you would find in the front. Overall room is pretty good. Nice wide opening for the door, allows easier ingress and egress. You do have storage in the lower doors. And the seats also fold down if you need to expand the cargo space of the trunk, which we'll highlight in just a little bit. Now, one of the first things you'll notice about the M3, just like the 3 Series sedan, is it's got a pretty spacious back seat overall. I'm around 5'10", 5'11", and with a comfortable seating position for myself up front, I probably have a good 4 inches or so of leg room and maybe an inch, give or take a little bit of headspace. The nice thing about these M-specific sport bucket seats up front is they also have a little bit of cutouts right here, so if you have longer legs, you still have a little bit more wiggle room. The overall environment is really fantastic. I mean, just like any other BMW product, everything is wrapped in soft touch materials, leathers, and more. The back seat is actually specific to the M3, has that perforated trim coming up across the middle like you would see in the front, but it also has a lighter weight seat material design aided to the overall weight decrease of the new model versus the previous one. You can sit 3 people back here. There's an extra You can sit 3 people back here. There's an adjustable third headrest, but the only thing that I wish it had was an armrest in the middle, but overall the rest of the seat is pretty comfortable and there's enough room in the interior to stretch out, so that's not really an issue. I think the backseat comfort is pretty good overall. I mean, it is on the firmer side like the front seats, but they have a nice amount of lower back support and reasonable thigh support, so I can appreciate this vehicle for a little bit of a longer trip. There's not a whole lot of lateral support across the sides like you have the front, but you do have a little bit of extra bolstering across the edges. But the nice thing is, the back seat also has 3-stage heated seats, which is nice for both of the end seats. Buttons are located in the bottom of the console here with a power outlet, your air registers up top, grip handles, coat hooks, and side curtain airbags to the rear. You also have reading lamps up top, as well as the overall interior illumination. So, let's go and check out the rest of the vehicle, shall we? Pop the trunk of the M3 and you'll find around 17 cubic feet of cargo space in all, with a little cargo net to the left, cargo tie-downs all the way around, and a little storage tray to the right. If you need a little bit more space, there's also some down below. You can even fold the back seats down to make a flat loading space all the way to the front seats. The passenger seat also features the same power adjustments, including an adjustable lumbar as the driver's seat. The only thing it doesn't have is the two-person memory. There's also a locking glove box that's padded, lined in felt, with illumination and a little storage net up top. Good amount of space overall. The BMW M3 is a motorsports legend with nearly 30 years of pedigree under its belt. Even though this M3 is bigger, boosted, and more refined, I really believe BMW is going back to their roots on this one. Of course, as close as a manufacturer can in this modern day. Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed the in-depth look at the all-new 2015 BMW M3 and M4. Be sure to stay tuned next time, there's a lot more where that came from. Take care everybody.